brother was on the run. His
My brother
is
is an absolute genius.
He is.
Yeah, like I know I'm smart, but there's a difference. There's smart, like I'm able to figure shit out, and I'm able to watch somebody do something and I can repeat it fast and quick. Like I'm a fast learner.
Mm-hmm.
My brother comes up with he just comes up with the original ideas.
Innovator.
He's the innovator. He just thinks outside of the box. He's just got this brilliance about him that allows him to come up with these ideas that you would never even, the angle that you would just never think of would be the first thing that he thinks of. Is his brilliance. Yeah.
So we wrote the outline. I wrote the whole outline. After I wrote the outline, I started writing the whole book. He got out, and I wrote the whole book just with emails between me and John, and phone calls. And then, of course, he disappeared, which at the end of the book, he disappears.
I went back to prison.
But what happened is this. What I was going to say was when I put up the I had a website while I was still in prison, and I put up the story. So I actually put up his story on my website just prior to getting out of prison, maybe a year or two in, or a year or two before I got out. I put up the story, and I had like photos and stuff on it. I had his brother's mugshot on it. His brother contacted me and was like, "Hey, shit, what's your brother's name?"
Christopher.
Yeah, Christopher. Yeah, this is Chris Boseak.
Yeah.
I'm John's brother. When people run my name, your story comes up, and it's causing me major fucking problems. I need you to remove my story and remove my name. And I went. So of course I'm emailing him back, and we're going through somebody, by the way. So I can't email him really directly. I'm actually emailing him through this chick named Joy that was helping me. So I shoot one to her, she shoots one back. I
didn't know that either. Yeah. I didn't know that either.
And we're going back and forth, and he starts saying, "Look, I need you to remove my name from it." And I went, "Okay, well, I said, okay, that would make, I have to go through, rewrite the whole thing, have Joy, I got to pay to have this done. Joy's not, people, this costs money and time." And I said, "Well, what are you going to do for me?" And he's like, "What do you mean?" I go, "Well, I need some pictures. Your brother's disappeared." I said, "I don't know where he is. I'm writing letters to the Freedom of Information Act. I'm trying to figure out where he is." And I end up saying, I need some photos, some childhood photos, some this. And I start asking him questions. He's like, "What?" He goes, "Well, I got those photos, but that would require me to deal with my mother, which I'm unwilling to do."
Really?
He didn't want to go there. He said he had to go to your mom's. He had to go in the basement. He had to dig out the files.
Okay,
He goes, "I don't want to have to deal with her. I don't want to have to explain the whole situation. I don't want to do that." And I went, "Okay, well, then I'm not taking your name off the thing." "Well, it's causing me major problems." I said, "Well, bro, there's multiple articles out there on you being arrested for credit card fraud. So don't tell me that my story is upsetting, is causing you problems when there's you've got multiple arrests. You've been in prison in multiple states. You got multiple articles about you being arrested for credit card fraud. So my story is not affecting you. The problem is my story tells the entire cohesive story as opposed to a random article here and there." And I'm sure he didn't like that. And I had the photograph. Photographs public records. So we go back and forth, and he basically was unwilling to do anything other than to say, "Take this down." No, I'm not going to fucking take it down. I'll change it. I'll alter it. I'll use a different name, but give me something. Make it worth my while in some way. He wouldn't do it. So anyway, that's why when you mentioned your brother, I just remembered thinking, "Oh,
yeah,
that's right."
Up until this point, me and my brother have been pretty tight. Like
Where's your brother now?
I believe he's in Texas. He lives in Texas.
Okay, and you don't talk to him?
No, up until this point, me and my brother have been really close. Like we grew up together, obviously, and when I was in prison, he was like the only one that was there for me, sending me money and like taking care of me and shit. And now he won't even speak to me.
Why won't he speak to you?
Obviously, he's pretty upset about me involving him in this the book and all that. And which I get it, dude. I get it. You know what I mean? I get it. You're trying to live the straight and narrow, and you're trying to. And I don't think he even told his wife. Doesn't even know. I don't think she really knew like everything. You know what I mean? Like I kind of think he might have minimized or whatever when he was explaining everything to his wife, and I kind of just peeled open a whole fucking can of worms.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I get it, and I'm not even like I'm kind of hurt by it, but at the same time, dude, I get it. We're adults, and You guys got to live his life.
So if your brother was the genius and your brother was the innovator behind all this stuff, did you rise higher in the ranks than he did, or did you accomplish more, make more than he did, or was he?
You know, for him, it was never about that. He wasn't like he was just fucking around with it as a joke, carding. And I know that's whatever, but he was just fucking around. I got fucking obsessed with it, and I made it, you know what I mean, my 24/7, 365. You know what I'm saying? So it was never really about like I went further than him or whatever, because once he got busted, once me and him got chased out of a fucking Walmart for trying to get a laptop, I got away, he got caught.
Really?
And I feel fucking horrible about it because I woke him up.
Explain that. Explain that.
Like, I'm laughing about it. You feel horrible, and I'm thinking
because this is what started like my brother's downward trajectory.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It was like first of all, he was living with me in Coral Springs, and I remember waking him up. I remember this day distinctly. I woke him up out of a dead fucking sleep to go commit credit card fraud because I wanted to go out and steal. You know what I mean? So I wake him up. I make him go to Walmart with me to fucking card a laptop because I think because he had the ID for the card, so you know what I mean. He had to be the one to do it. You know what I mean? So we get there, we get back there, we get the laptop, we get to the counter. The dude looks at the card, swipes it, looks at the ID, picks up the phone. We got a code red back here at electronics. I immediately knew what fucking time it was. So I kind of just do an about face, and I slowly start walking towards the front door. I look back, my brother's still standing at the counter. And I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, man, just fucking walk away, walk away, walk away. So I get to the front door, the automatic doors in Walmart. They slide open. Here comes my brother just blowing past me with two dudes chasing him. Just a fucking full out. And the look of sheer fucking terror on his face as he was going through them fucking doors in Walmart and the two fucking dudes are chasing him. I'll never forget the look on that kid's face. And that's when it hit me in my stomach. I was like, I fucked up. And then one dude tries to grab my shirt. Luckily, I did some kind of spin move and slapped his hand away and booked it out of the parking lot. And I got away. And I went and hid in the fucking woods. And he went to jail, got arrested. You know what I mean? Yeah, I felt bad. Apparently, one of his flip-flaps fucking blew out on him halfway across the parking lot, and they got his ass. You know what I mean? So, yeah, and I felt so horrible for this, but I stayed up all night. I didn't sleep, tracking him, seeing what jail he was going to. I watched him go from city to county, and then I was on it. You know what I mean? I didn't sleep the whole night. As soon as the fucking bail bondsman's opened in the morning, I got him a bail bondsman. He called me after his first court appearance. He's like, oh, I got a bond, blah, blah, blah. I was like, listen, I already got a bondsman on the way up there to get you. You know what I mean? Just sit tight. And I bonded him out. I did the right thing. And then, like, 2 or 3 weeks later, the bail bondsman calls me, and he's like, you can come pick up your money. They dropped the charges or some shit. Yeah, something weird happened in the court. I don't know if it was a clerical error or what happened, but they just weren't going to prosecute it or whatever. So I got my bond money back.
Wow.
So we're thinking it's all good. My brother's like, oh, I skated on that one. I was like, yeah, you got lucky. Well, about 2 or 3 weeks later, we get a knock on the door early in the morning, and it was one of those. So I knew it was the police, because the police only fucking knock one way at fucking 7 o'clock in the morning. You know what I mean? Nobody else is beating on my door like that. So I opened up the door. It's Coral Springs Police. There, it's Christopher Boseak here, and he was in the room asleep, but he had his room door closed. And I was like, no, he's not here. He's in the cop. He's like, well, where is he? I was like, he went to Michigan. He took off and went to Michigan yesterday. And the cop's like, do you have any ID? So I went and got my ID, gave it to him just so he can make sure that I wasn't Christopher. And he said, oh, well, good thing he did take off because he's got a warrant out for his arrest. And I was like, and I told the cop, I was like, I got my bond money back from that. He's like, yeah, well, somebody picked up the case and so he can get a warrant out for his arrest. So I went and woke him up like, dude, fucking police were just here looking for you. He's like, oh man, that was almost my freedom. And he took off that night and went to Michigan. And he got caught up in Michigan like I think 2 weeks later at a Target. And that's when the whole thing unfolded. So then he got jailed up there, and then he had to get extradited back down to Florida and the whole thing. So after that whole thing happened with him, he was done. Like that was the end of it for him. Like once he got caught, you know what I mean, Coral Springs, and went to Michigan and went through that whole fucking shit. I think after that he was done. Like he was like, you know what, I'm gonna go to college, I'm gonna get a degree, I'm gonna do what I gotta do. So he was out of the life of crime and pretty much away from me at that time. Like after that, we went our separate ways. Like he took off and went and did his thing, and then I made carding my life after that. But yeah.
Did you